radio starts right now.
Making headlines this morning, the CDC giving predictions when it comes to the coronavirus death toll the U.S. could reach by Christmas as local leaders get ready to distribute a vaccine.
Another chilly morning out here as we wrap up the work week, looking outside towards downtown with live cam temperatures right in the mid-30s. We'll check in with Officer Nick Solis about traffic and get Mike's weekend forecast coming up.
Hi, it's Friday. Yay, December 4th. Thanks for joining us.
December 4th, and it is going to be a fabulous Friday. We've got your top stories coming up right now. Let's focus on how chilly it is to start out the day, Mike.
3 weeks, I was going to say, from today. Christmas.
3 weeks from today.
I know, it's going to be here before we know it. Anyway, yes, if you are having trouble kind of waking up, just walk outside.
Yeah.
That'll be a brisk start.
It's like somebody ripping the covers off you when you step outside. We do have a couple of clouds hanging around here this morning, but that's not acting like any sort of blanket because actually temperatures right now are down ever so slightly compared to this time yesterday. 29 Kerrville, Comfort, Lost Maples, freezing, Bernie Stage to Lotus, 35 out there at the airport, and just a hint of a breeze. So in some areas you might shave off a degree or two. 26 is what it feels like right now in Honda. We have, again, mostly clear, still very dry air and light winds, so I think we'll drop down even a couple of more degrees in the next few hours. Mold is on the low side, and again, mountain cedar, if you didn't see this yesterday, first indication of little mountain cedar showing up around here. And throughout the rest of today, like I said, I think we dropped down a couple of more degrees, partly cloudy skies, and that light little breeze out of the north at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. 60 for a high temperature today. Another very nice day. If you're in the shadows, you want a jacket. We've got a couple of sprinkles to start off the weekend forecast. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. And then it's just going to be a nice first weekend of December. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Nick Solis. Got some big problems. Right, Nick?
Yeah, definitely got a big problem on the east side of town, Mike. This is going to be an accident going eastbound IH-10 at FM 1516. Now, this is involving an 18-wheeler that was overturned there and caused a lot of debris on the roadway. So actually, eastbound I-10 is completely shut down right now from North Foster Road to FM 1560 North. As you can see here on the screen, that white line there. Expect a huge delay right now if you are heading eastbound I-10 due to this accident. Hopefully, it gets cleared up shortly. All right, TransGuide right now, 410 and 151. Can't get better than that. Both those lanes flowing smoothly. Mark, Steph, back to you.
All right, sir. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick. This morning, Metro Health reporting when we can expect a coronavirus vaccine to be available in Bexar County. Right now, they say the week of December 14th is when our share of COVID-19 vaccine doses are expected to arrive. They would go to 10 different health systems to be used with healthcare workers, but everything depends on when the Food and Drug Administration gives its emergency approval. Dr. Colleen Bridger, the outgoing director of Metro Health, says they will release more details on Monday. So here's a look at where we stand with coronavirus cases here at home. Another change in the 7-day average as it stands at 795, which is lower than the day before. Meanwhile, one new death was reported. 593 COVID-19 patients are hospitalized. That includes 70 patients from El Paso. 198 are in an intensive care unit and 104 are on ventilators.
New details about the coronavirus vaccine and how it will be distributed. This comes as Vice President Mike Pence heads to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention headquarters today. We'll learn more about the vaccine's progress.
Nearly a dozen states have just seen a record increase in infections, and hospitalizations have set another record nationwide. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest.
This morning, the country wrestling with a third wave of COVID.
In about 2 weeks, hospitals will be full.
California is announcing new plans for regional restrictions.
We need to meet this moment head on, and we need to do everything we can to stem the tide, to bend the curve.
In North Dakota, Air Force nurses are now helping the ICUs.
It really moved pretty quickly.
Their introductory training has been slashed from 6 weeks to only 3 days.
Everybody comes in mostly with respiratory distress, which is scary. If you're having any problems breathing and you never have before, that's a scary thing to get used to.
The CDC is now saying the U.S. could reach a death toll of 329,000 by Christmas. And now, potential problems for vaccine distribution plans. IBM says hackers are trying to disrupt the procedures that keep the vaccines properly cooled during transport. Governor Andrew Cuomo is giving New Yorkers a look at the Pfizer vaccine, which must be stored at minus 94 degrees. The box can stay open for no more than 90 seconds. News of the hacking threat comes as the Wall Street Journal reports Pfizer dealt with early supply chain obstacles. trials. The company first planned to produce 100 million doses, but then slashed that in half after finding some raw materials didn't meet its standards. Pfizer says the problems have been fixed, but delivering the vaccine will be a challenge like never before. ABC News getting an inside look at United Airlines cold storage facility at Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
The cold chain is for products that really need refrigerated temperature from start to finish, because there are so many different steps along the way that it's critical that they're kept at the exact same temperature for the duration of the journey.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
Parenting during this pandemic has been especially tough between the challenges of keeping kids safe while balancing a very different school year and for many parents working from home. As more information about COVID has developed throughout the year, there's been a noticeable difference between adults and children. Dr. Tess Barton, a pediatrician with UT Health San Antonio, says asymptomatic spread in children is much more common than in adults. But when kids do have COVID symptoms, first time to show up may not be the respiratory issues you expect.
So children actually most commonly present with diarrhea. And so it often begins for them as diarrhea, fever, headache, and then they may develop the respiratory signs and the cough. And then they may have an ongoing cough that lasts for a long time.
We covered many different topics during a live stream on KSAT.com focusing on parenting during a pandemic yesterday. From school to screen time, battling boredom, and watching out for red flags that may indicate your child needs extra help during the pandemic. If you missed it, you can watch the entire Parenting in a Pandemic special online at KSAT.com.
And time now is 4:36, 35 degrees for now.
Still ahead on GMSA, yet another bizarre incident surrounding Carol Baskin of Tiger King fame after a person nearly lost an arm in a tiger attack at her animal sanctuary.
Also next, the latest details on a possible human smuggling ring found in a Houston home.
And outside with live cam, mid-30s to start our Friday. Bundle up, folks, if you have to go to work or school early this morning. We'll get a look at the weekend forecast. What is it going to be like around here? Mike has the answer coming up. In Houston, police have rescued nearly 30 people from a suspected human smuggling operation. Police were responding to a kidnapping call in southwest Houston when they saw a man running down the street looking for help. The man said he escaped from a home where he was being held against his will. Officers went to investigate and found the windows boarded up and the doors locked. Inside, they found nearly 30 people. Some of them could have been there for up to 7 days' time. Investigators say the victims came from Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and even Cuba. Possible suspects are in custody, but police are waiting on immigration officials to begin their investigation.
The presidential campaign is over, but that's not stopping President Donald Trump from fundraising. His political operation has raised more than $207 million since Election Day. After losing the election, the campaign sent out hundreds of emails and text messages asking supporters for money. Many of the appeals pointed to the president's official election defense fund. But most of the money does not go to President Trump's campaign's account to fund recounts. Instead, a majority went to a new political action committee established by President Donald Trump.
The final version of the National Defense Authorization Act has a provision that would effectively block President Trump's attempts to significantly reduce the number of U.S. troops in Germany. It's a move that the president said was necessary because of Berlin's failure to spend adequate amounts on defense. In late July, the administration said it would reduce the number of U.S. forces in Germany from 36,000 down to 11,900. But the House Armed Services Committee says this new bill, quote, prevents reduction in the number of U.S. forces stationed in Germany below 34,500 until 120 days after the Secretary of Defense submits a cost and implication assessment, end quote.
And time now is 4:41 and 35 degrees for now.
Time running out to send gifts to loved ones with Christmas just 3 weeks away. We have the deadlines you need to know in order to make sure your gifts arrive on time.
Also next, more details on the latest twist in the story of Carol Baskin after a person was attacked by a tiger at her animal sanctuary. And welcome back. It's 4:44. A person nearly lost an arm in a tiger attack at the animal sanctuary owned by Carol Baskin, the woman made famous in the Netflix series Tiger King. ABC's Victor Okendo has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, tiger attack at Carol Baskin's Big Cat Rescue. Baskin releasing audio addressing volunteers following the incident.
heard her yelling. So I ran over and she said, "He's got my arm." And I saw him with her arm in his mouth. And when I ran over, he let go and she fell to the ground.
Baskin, who appeared on last season's Dancing with the Stars, What's New, Pussycat? Gained recognition after the release of Netflix's Tiger King docuseries earlier this year. The show chronicled the tale of Oklahoma private zoo owner Joe Exotic and his vendetta against his nemesis Carol Baskin of Big Cat Rescue in Florida.
She fed her husband to the tigers.
Exotic alleging that Baskin fed her ex-husband Don Lewis to tigers, a claim she has repeatedly denied. And we'll have the very latest on this attack coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Victor Oquendo, ABC News.
The saga never ends.
I know, a lot of people watching closely.
Well, it's that time of year, getting your holiday gifts and goodies where they need to go on time.
Mail carriers and delivery companies are anticipating a record year for holiday packages. Here's 12 on your size Marilyn Morris with some key deadlines to get your shipping wrapped up.
They're as busy as elves at this UPS store. But the real blizzard of boxes and bubble wrap, that's right around the corner.
Next week's going to be very hectic. We're going to be having a lot of drop-offs, a lot of shipping.
December 14th through the 21st will be prime time and possibly long lines as people send their holiday gifts.
If there's one date to keep in mind and circle on your calendar, it's this, December 15th for UPS, FedEx, and U.S. Mail. That's the last day for ground shipping.
Planning to send holiday cards? Best to get them in the mailbox by December 18th. That's the deadline for first-class mail. Shipping companies are already slammed, delivering record holiday purchases made online.
My wife has been on the internet for the last 3 days straight buying Christmas stuff.
Many retailers are urging their customers to shop and ship early and take advantage of curbside pickup where it's offered. The next 3 weeks promise to be bustling. A heads up for procrastinators. You can still ship as late as the 23rd for Christmas Eve delivery, but the longer you wait, the more you pay, and the more you chance it.
Mostly right now, because of COVID, there's no guarantees on any shipping, unfortunately. So the sooner the better to ship is the best thing to do right now.
Unless, of course, you have a sleigh and reindeer. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
I already messed up. I ordered a gift for my niece in North Carolina. I sent it to their old address. So.
Oh, no. Well, maybe there's time for it to get to where it needs to be.
Well, I saw you tracked it, delivered to the old address. So somebody got this really cute backpack.
Aww.
But the merchant I was working with, Hot Topic, was nice enough to say, hey, we'll mark it as an unfulfilled order. We're going to send you the new item overnight to the correct address. Let's just make sure we get the correct address this time, Mr. Austin.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's nice though.
Hot Topic, one of those stores.
Yeah, they have cute. They have cute backpacks. They have Baby Yoda backpacks this year.
Exactly. So, good job, Hot Topic.
Yes, good job. And also doing a good job this morning is Nick Solis. How are the roads looking?
Roads are looking good. That's what happened to the Christmas present I got you, Mark. Got lost.
Likely
My
story.
present's in North Carolina too.
You also have a Baby Yoda backpack.
Yes, exactly.
Well, this is the way.
Right, this is the way. My boy Grogu there. All right, here we go. Right now, dealing with this accident here, it's going to be eastbound IH10 at FM 1560 North. Now, it looks like the lanes have opened up now due to this 18-wheeler accident. I'll confirm that with my friends at TransGuide. But till then, just keep in mind if you're heading this direction, expect a little bit of a delay. All right, outside right now, 35 at Pine, flowing very smoothly, looking good there, both north and southbound at 35 and Pine, and we'll keep it there because that's where it wants to stay.
Thank you, Nick.
Isn't it always great when the customer service and you don't have to jump through hoops and do all that stuff?
It's nice when they do the right thing without demand.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. And they didn't have to do what they did for you.
Right.
No.
But it's so nice when it happens.
And it's not that everybody's on TV, but they just got a shout out on TV and you're going to tell all your friends and everything too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they exceeded my expectations from day one.
See, and you'll shop with them again. That's great. All right. It's cold outside this morning and it is going to be staying very nice today. I mean, obviously a chilly morning and then getting up into the low 60s later on today. We've got, maybe one or two clouds out there this morning. Excuse me. High temperature yesterday made it up to 58 degrees. So it was a little cool, even in the sunshine. Just cool enough, but oh my goodness gracious, those beautiful blue skies out there. It was an absolutely fantastic day. I think we get up to 60 today, so about the same neighborhood and still slightly below normal by roughly 5 degrees or so, but that's going to be changing as we go into next week. Now, we have a couple of clouds out there as of right now, but with temperatures, it's really not doing that much as far as acting like a blanket because, like I said off the top of the show, we're down even compared to what we were at this time yesterday with some of those freezing readings around there, and we'll still cool off a little bit. But a little extra moisture in the atmosphere upstairs, and I think that may actually give us 1 or 2 high clouds out there, but still just another beautiful, beautiful day. And temperatures will warm up very nicely, and we'll have, like I said, plenty of sunshine throughout the day. Now, tonight, though, there's a disturbance sliding on in here. Again, you look at this graphic, this does not, first impression is, oh my goodness, there's rain all over the place. This is kind of a broad brush type situation where, yes, there will be a couple of little sprinkly showers, I think in the early morning hours, but it's not going to be just this widespread rain event. A lot of it actually may evaporate before it reaches the ground because we do have such dry air in place, but a couple little sprinkles are going to be possible, and we keep a lot of clouds around throughout the day. Also, out here to the west, there's a really, really cold pocket of air, and you can see there's some wintry precipitation mixed in there, kind of west of our area. Northern Valverde County, there could be, call it a little bit of chunky rain. Just a couple little spots way out there. That's the exception rather than the rule, just because of that little pocket of cold air sitting out there just north of the Big Bend area. We're going to keep a lot of clouds around tomorrow, and then those are going to be clearing on out. So the rest of the weekend is going to be just fantastic. And the trend then going into next week is for temperatures to start to creep up just a little bit. We've been on the below normal side basically ever since last weekend, with a couple of minor exceptions here, but we will start to warm up heading into the latter part of next week. 55 degrees today at noon, partly cloudy skies. High temperature today up to 60, still below normal, still a fantastic day. Get in the shadows, and yeah, you're going to want to keep a jacket handy. It'll cool off fairly quickly tonight, and then tomorrow we'll have a lot of clouds around here. A couple of showers, here or there, kind of scattered about the area, maybe a couple of more as you head off further toward the west, toward the hill country. And then temperatures, albeit no heat wave, will be about 5 degrees above normal by the end of the week, up to 70. It looks like another front should come through here by late next week.
Did you say chunky rain out by Del Rio?
Northern Valverde County.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning. And that's going to be, just the exception rather than the rule. There's a really cold pocket of air, but most of it is further north and west of our area, but Northern Valverde County, perhaps.
Still fun to talk about.
Yeah, a little too much to eat over Thanksgiving and chunky rain as opposed to slender rain.
452, 35 degrees.
And coming up next, a movie about the making of a movie. Details about a new film that tells the origin story of Citizen Kane.
And here are your lottery numbers. Pick 3, 738, Fireball 6, Daily 4, 0724, Fireball 9.
Cash 5, 6, 23, 28, 29, 34. And Texas two-step. You got 5, 13, 16, 30, bonus ball 11.
Lots of new movie releases head into the weekend, as well as a new major one from Warner Brothers.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
A seismic shift in the movie industry. Warner Brothers announcing that every major release for next year, including The Matrix 4, The Suicide Squad, the upcoming Sopranos movie, and more, will debut simultaneously in theaters and on its streaming service, HBO Max. Warner Brothers says the hybrid model was created as a response to the ongoing pandemic, which has kept most major releases out of theaters for the year. The move, while great for consumers, could deal a big blow to already struggling movie theaters. Out today, it's a critically acclaimed movie about the making of a critically acclaimed movie. Mank tells the origin story of Citizen Kane. Actress Amanda Seyfried says a lot of people don't realize that Herman Mankiewicz, not Orson Welles, was the real driving force behind Citizen Kane's script.
Which is why this movie is really important in telling that story. And everybody, a lot of people, I think, especially cinephiles, love to see the making of anything.
Mank stars Gary Oldman. It's getting Oscar buzz, and it's out today on Netflix.
I'm going to prove that people still need fairy godmothers.
Also out today, Godmothered is a holiday family comedy about a fairy godmother in training. That's on Disney+. And Sunday on Showtime, it's the debut of the Bryan Cranston legal thriller, Your Honor. And happy birthday today to one of the richest players in the music game. Jay-Z is 51, while Dancing with the Stars host and producer Tyra Banks is 47. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's on my list this weekend, that series about Orson Welles and Citizen Kane.
That looks good.
Mank with Gary Oldman. 4:57, 35 degrees.
And still ahead in our next half hour, President-elect Joe Biden says he has a plan to curtail the spread of coronavirus once he takes office. We're going to tell you what it is.
It's the time of year for ugly Christmas sweaters, and Microsoft may have been one of the most popular sweaters ever sold. Details in Tech Bites.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
America's darkest day yet in this pandemic as thousands more die from the coronavirus. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington with the latest coming up.
Outside with live cam, twinkling lights of downtown San Antonio, including the Alamo Dome. 34 degrees now at the airport. We've dropped 1 degree at the top of the hour.
Hi, good morning. It's Friday, December 4th.
Mike, how's the weekend looking weather-wise?
Overall, very nice. I think tomorrow we're going to have a lot of clouds around here, and even a couple of sprinkly showers are going to be possible in the morning, especially the further west you go out in toward the western part of the hill country. Got some clouds around right now. That has not really prevented us from cooling down. We actually dropped down 1 degree in the past hour, down to 34 right now. Dew points at 29, and we have a little bit of a breeze out there, so you know that means there's a little bit of a wind chill to deal with. High temperature today up to 60. We'll have a lot of sunshine, a couple of clouds thrown on in there as well. The aquifer, yesterday's reading, it did drop down 0.3 of a foot, and the allergens, don't know if you saw this, but that's first time mountain cedar has shown up so far this season, and of course the best is yet to come. It's just the beginning of the mountain cedar season. A little bit of a wind chill right now, and it feels like 28 here in town. Right at freezing Bernie Stage, Bulverde 30, and 22, the cold spot there. The wind chill in Kerrville, comfort at 29 degrees. So we've got mostly sunny skies later on today. It's going to be a nice day, 60 for high temperature, a little bit of a breeze. Jacket's not a bad idea. And then if you are planning on heading out tonight, I would definitely take one. It will cool off quickly. Now, there's a disturbance that's going to be sliding through overnight and in through tomorrow. And that's why we have that chance for a couple of scattered showers around here. And again, more of them well off to the west, and then temperatures will be getting up into the low 60s. So a nice day. We're going to be clearing out after that. A lot of sunshine Sunday through most all of next week, and we are going to see temperatures start to just creep upward as we go on into the latter part of next week, preceding a front late next week. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here's Officer Nick Solis. Still got that big problem out there?
Yeah, but it's getting better, Mike. It looks like they've opened up eastbound IH10, but they're still working on clearing the debris. As you can see, we have moderate traffic there going eastbound from Foster Road to FM 1560 North. So if you are heading in that direction right now, expect just a little bit of delay. I don't expect this accident to be there much longer. Drive times right now, if you're 151 eastbound from 1604 to Highway 90, you got a 9-minute ride. And if you're 90 eastbound from 1604 to I-35, only 12 minutes. So looking good both directions on 151 and 90. And taking a look outside, 281 in Hildebrand, flowing very smoothly. What I like to see, just remember 2 hands on the steering wheel and wear that seatbelt. Mark?
Thank you, Nick. San Antonio police are hoping they'll have success in solving a case that was a failure for a burglar, an ATM break-in that went all wrong.
They are working in a parking lot at the corner of Callahan and Babcock Road. Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Now, Katrina, had they had any luck?
No, what a detective told me is that right now they don't have any suspects, and it appears no one saw this. But someone did hear what sounded like a car hitting something. They called police. They say the alarm inside this ATM also went off. And when we got here just a few minutes ago, we could see parts of the machine and of the truck that was used scattered about here. And the chain that the burglars tried to use to yank open that machine, it was still attached. CSI investigators just took all of that stuff and collected that as evidence. Now, across the parking lot is the pickup that police say was used in this attempt. They say that is a stolen truck. Whoever was inside got out and ran away, I guess, when the alarm went off, or perhaps after they were not successful. Police say that they actually yanked part of the truck apart, so I guess they weren't able to drive it any farther than that, and that is exactly where they left it. Police are still very active with this investigation. We've seen them walking around the parking lot. It seems perhaps looking for surveillance video to try to give them some more clues about who was responsible for this. So that's the situation here as they continue to look for clues and to try to figure out who's behind this. Reporting live on the northwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
In your morning headlines, at least 2,879 Americans died from the coronavirus yesterday alone.
It was the worst day yet of the coronavirus pandemic, but now President-elect Joe Biden is unveiling a plan to curb the trend. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington with the latest.
American families being clobbered right now on all fronts of an unrelenting pandemic. Thursday, the darkest day yet. More than 210,000 new coronavirus infections and at least 2,800 Americans dead in just a 24-hour period.
This nation was severely underprepared.
A remarkable admission by the CDC director as President-elect Biden promises a different approach to fighting the virus once he takes office.
Because on the first day I'm inaugurated to say I'm going to ask the public for 100 days to mask.
Biden also telling CNN he plans to keep Dr. Anthony Fauci on board.
I asked him to stay on in the exact same role he's had for the past several presidents, and I asked him to be a chief medical advisor for me as well and be part of the COVID team.
The current COVID task force anxiously waiting for an FDA vaccine authorization as cases rage across the country. In Stark County, Ohio, the coroner moving in mobile morgues.
Thanksgiving weekend, we became completely filled out here at the morgue.
California now bracing for a lockdown as restrictions tighten in states like Delaware and New York. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo unpacking a sample box of the vaccine that could be shipped out to states starting December 15th.
This is the weapon that is going to win the war.
But fears some Americans might opt out of getting vaccinated. 3 former presidents, Clinton, Bush, and Obama, now offering to take the shot in front of cameras to build confidence. Biden says he'll do the same.
It's important to communicate to the American people it's safe. It's safe to do this.
And as for that coronavirus aid package, signs of progress here in Washington. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell are discussing a nearly $1 trillion aid plan for the first time since the election. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington. Here at home, a father shot and killed at an apartment complex, and the man who fired the shots still on the run. It happened on Monday night at an apartment complex on Callahan near Culebra Road. That's over on the west side. Police say they were already on the scene for another call when they were alerted to shots being fired and found 35-year-old John Eric Garcia dead. Investigators believe the suspect and Garcia knew each other.
What did he do to you to do such a thing like this when he was living a good life and he had a good job. He was on his way. My brother, everyone should know he didn't deserve this. He didn't.
Police have not named the suspect in the case publicly. Garcia leaves behind 3 children and was also expecting a grandchild.
Just about 5:08, 34 degrees.
And still ahead, some very big news out of Hollywood. Warner Brothers announcing a new approach when it comes to releasing blockbuster movies.
And next, look back at Texas history as we highlight some Spanish or Mexican governors who might not have normally been talked about in our history books.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, it is another cold start to your day at 34 degrees. Bundle up. We're going to check in with Mike and hear more about what we can expect for your weekend after the break.
Our Tejano Moments series continues this morning. This time we learn about the first governors of the state.
Erica, now this also tells us more about how these Tejanos shaped and developed Texas.
Between 1688 and 1836, Texas had many Spanish or Mexican governors who we might not hear about in our history books because this was before Texas actually established the office of governor.
I think it's important that we communicate that they're here to govern New Spain's new royal province. They need to install governors to bring law and order, of course, colonization, Christianization.
The first man New Spain chose to take on a leadership role was General Alonso de Leon, who led the first expeditions into the Texas area and also established some of the first presidios and missions.
He's not formally the first governor, if you will, but he's certainly the first governmental entity that begins to clear the path for, in fact, the first governor.
And that first official governor was General Domingo Terán de los Rios. Other governors of note were General Martín de Alarcón, who founded San Antonio. And that is when the Spanish governor's palace comes into play. The first governor to actually live inside was Governor Juan Maria Vencillo.
He deploys to San Antonio and specifically ends up here. And so he's one of the first governors that begins to live in this colonial, beautiful dwelling and brings his headquarters here. And for the first time, this begins to be understood as the Spanish governor's palace.
It would be until 1836 that Mexican governors would rule over Texas as the Republic of Texas was then created. But their significance to Tejano history is of great importance to the state.
They helped develop the culture and society that's far beyond just a frontier society. They are really some of the governance that helps develop the American Southwest.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
513, 34 degrees.
And still ahead, how Warner Brothers is changing the game when it comes to releasing new movies.
And we'll take a look at the largest drone ever built.
So what's going on?
I'm a talking dog.
The other issue?
Oh, I'm scratching like crazy.
You've got some allergic itch with skin inflammation. Apoquel can work on that itch in as little as 4 hours, whether it's a new or chronic problem. And Apoquel's treated over 8 million dogs.
Nice. And the talking dog thing?
Is it bothering you?
No, itching like a dog is bothering me.
Until dogs can speak for themselves, you have to. When allergic itch is a problem, ask for Apoquel. Apoquel is for the control of itch associated with allergic dermatitis and the control of atopic dermatitis in dogs. Do not use Apoquel in dogs less than 12 months old or those with serious infections. Apoquel may increase the chance of developing serious infections and may cause existing parasitic skin infestations or pre-existing cancers to worsen. Do not use in breeding, pregnant, or lactating dogs. Most common side effects are vomiting and diarrhea. Feeling better?
I'm speechless. Thanks for the Apoquel.
Aw, that's what friends are for. Ask your veterinarian for Apoquel. Next to you, Apoquel is a dog's best friend.
In today's Tech Bites, Warner Brothers shakes up Hollywood. The studio says it will release all of its movies next year streaming on HBO Max on the same day they debut in theaters. Warner Brothers says for now the plan is limited to 2021 because it's unclear when movie-going will return to normal. A private company has unveiled the world's biggest drone. The 80-foot unmanned aircraft weighs 55,000 pounds. It's designed to drop a rocket in midair that launches small satellites into space. 'Tis the season for the ugly holiday sweater, and Microsoft's version is the hottest one around. But good luck trying to find it. It's sold out faster than the latest Xbox. The proceeds will go to Girls Who Code, a charity working to get more women into computer science. Hopefully it will make the Microsoft startup sound as well. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
But I checked, and Whataburger still has their ugly sweaters.
I was just thinking about that. So they're not sold out yet.
I don't think so. Yeah, they've still got it listed here. It popped up on my Facebook feed.
They usually go pretty quickly.
Yeah, they do. This year's design looks actually surprisingly tasteful. Let's check traffic right now. Well, because they're inherently ugly, right?
Well, no, because they should be tasteful because it's Whataburger.
Amen.
Like they're tasty fries.
As long as it looks like a number 5, I'll be good.
Mm.
All right. All right, everyone. Right now, very busy on the roadways. We have 3 accidents we're dealing with. This one's going to be northbound I-35, the access road in between O'Connor and Judson Road. Vehicles on fire there. We have this accident here, northbound I-10 at West Avenue, where another vehicle is on fire. So roadways getting a little dangerous out there right now. And still working on this accident, eastbound I-10 at FM 1516, where that 18-wheeler was rolled over. Still trying to clear the debris out of the roadway. Taking a look outside right now, there's the Alamo Dome there, 37 at Cesar Chavez. Looking good right now. North and southbound lanes flowing very smooth. If you're headed on 37, you got a smooth ride.
Refresh my memory. What's in the number 5?
That's
Nick?
the bacon, the bacon cheeseburger there, Mark.
Bacon cheeseburger with fries and a
Coke.
Yes. Okay.
Patty
now we
melt.
know.
That's my new favorite there.
Oh,
the patty melt.
Yes.
Which first time I had one, it's like, oh, that's a double patty.
I love it too, but man, that is filling. That is.
God. Oh yeah.
Your stomach hurts for a little while after that.
Indeed. Okay, enough about food. That's speaking of breakfast tacos, Mark. Anyway, got lots of clear skies. Got a few clouds hanging around here this morning. That has not really done anything as far as any sort of a blanket on top of us to hold the heat in, because we are actually a little bit colder than what it was yesterday. Right now, down to freezing at Randolph, Helotes, Bulverde, 31, 32 Bernie Stage, and some mid-20s in parts of the hill country. And there's a little bit of a breeze. Not much, but just enough when you have temperatures this cold. Makes it feel like 28 out there at the airport. Randolph, 21 is the wind chill right now in Kerrville. Here's the computer model going into the rest of today. A couple of clouds hanging around this morning, maybe one or two, some high wispy clouds out there. We got a little bit of extra moisture aloft in the atmosphere. And then overnight, there's going to be a disturbance moving on in here. I think throughout the evening hours, if you are heading out looking at some Christmas lights, something like that, it's going to be very nice. But we'll have clouds thickening up overnight. And then tomorrow morning, there's a chance for a couple of little showers around here. A lot of this, because the air is so dry down here at the surface, a lot of this is probably going to, even if it does fall, evaporate before it ever reaches the ground. But there will be one or two little sprinkly showers. And way out, even northwest of Val Verde County, there's a real cold pocket of air sitting out there. And so that's why perhaps, now this model doesn't have it, but you see just northwest of there's a little bit of mixed precipitation. So northwestern Val Verde County, perhaps a little chunk or two of rain, some chunky rain. That would be the extent of it, just because of that cold pocket of air there. But for the rest of us, a couple of sprinkles. We keep a lot of clouds around throughout the day tomorrow. Then those are going to be clearing on out, and we've got a very, very beautiful stretch of weather after that. Unfortunately, it does not include any rain all the way through all of next week. There's a few low clouds, mid-level clouds that are showing up on the satellite picture right now. So that's the one or two of them out there. The only system, though, is showing up off here to the southeast and to the east of us. That's continuing to work its way off that to the east, obviously, and really nothing upstream. And so other than that little disturbance coming in here tonight, that's it. There's nothing except a little bit of a warming trend going into next week. So forecast today will make it up to 55 degrees at noon, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature today up to 60, which is still a little bit warmer than yesterday, but still on the below normal side by about 5 degrees, and will slowly start to creep up. We've got those few showers tomorrow, one or two of them here and there, especially the first half of the day, and then we start to clear out Sunday in through the rest of next week, and slowly back up to normal Sunday, and then above normal going into the latter part of next week.
Nice afternoons, though.
Yeah, still beautiful, still nice, pleasant jacket weather in the mornings.
Very good.
522, 34 degrees.
And still ahead, find out which artists are finishing the year at the top of the Billboard music charts.
Another musical artist releasing a Christmas tune, plus a look at who's finishing 2020 at the top of the Billboard charts.
Here's CNN's Douglas Hyde with the Hollywood Minute.
There's something happening. Warner Brothers' entire slate of films next year will be released on HBO Max the same day they arrive in theaters. The surprising move is a sign of the times, as the pandemic continues to keep audiences out of cinemas. The 17 films will be available for 30 days at no extra cost for HBO Max subscribers. We couldn't turn around till we were upside down. Post Malone is Billboard's top artist of the year for the second year in a row. The singer-songwriter nabbed the top spot again thanks to the success of his album Hollywood's Bleeding and 8 hit songs, including his #1 smash, Circles. He's the first male artist to top the list consecutive years since Garth Brooks did it in 1992 and 93. Carly Rae Jepsen is bringing holiday cheer with her cheeky new tune, It's Not Christmas Till Somebody Cries. The just-released music video shows Carly at a Christmas get-together filled with some interesting relatives. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Interesting. Time now is 5:26 and 34 degrees.
Still ahead in our next half hour, why President-elect Joe Biden says he's pushing for Americans to wear masks for 100 straight days.
Plus, 2 major weather events are causing some major problems for people living out west.
And you know her music. Now Mariah Carey releasing her own line of Christmas cookies. We'll tell you how you can order some just ahead on GMSA.
Hi, Hey, good morning. It's Friday. Yay, December 4th. Thanks for joining us.
Let's go straight to Mike, see how our Friday is shaping up. It's awfully early still, Mike, but it's going to warm up a little bit later, right?
Yes, we'll probably be a couple of degrees above where it was yesterday, despite the fact that we are a couple of degrees below where it was at this time yesterday. Right now at 34 here in town, and there's a little bit of a breeze. We also have a couple of clouds that are moving on in here, but they really haven't acted like too much of a blanket up to this point, obviously, given the fact that we do have these pretty cold temperatures. Matter of fact, 26 right now in Kerrville, 28 Rock Springs, and 29 in Fredericksburg. Then there is that slight breeze, and so some of the wind chill temperatures feels like 28 here in town. In Kerrville, it feels like 21. 33 is the wind chill in New Braunfels, and we keep maybe a couple of clouds around here or there. Still plenty of sunshine. 55 at noon, 60 for a high temperature today, which is still on the below normal side. Now there is a disturbance moving in here overnight and early tomorrow morning. Maybe a couple of sprinkles, very few and far between tomorrow morning. Keep some clouds around. The trend, though, then starting Sunday in through next week, temperatures are going to start to just creep upward a little bit. How warm will we get? Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. Here is Officer Nick Solis.
Thanks, Mike. All right, right now dealing with three different accidents here around the city. First one's going to be here northbound I-35, the access road. This is pretty much, it's going to be at Judson. It's between O'Connor and Judson right there on that access road. It looks like if you're coming 35 northbound, you cannot exit O'Connor Road. That's all blocked off right now due to this one vehicle accident where a power line is leaning there. All right, dealing with this northbound I-10 at West Avenue. Hopefully that one gets cleared up. And still dealing with this accident. We've had this all morning. Eastbound I-10 at FM 1560 North. Still dealing with the cleanup from an overturned 18-wheeler. Taking a look outside, 1604 in Bandera right now on the northwest side. Looking good, both north and southbound lanes. Flowing smooth. All right, Mark, Steph, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. They had plans to take money out of an ATM, and instead some crooks had to withdraw their plans when things went wrong. It happened in the 6600 block of Callahan near Babcock Road. Our Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Now, Katrina, we understand they had truck trouble.
Well, that's right. According to police, they actually broke the frame on the pickup that they were using to try to open that ATM. It's still right here in the parking lot. They bailed out and left it here. Right now we have crime scene investigators going through. They've been dusting it for fingerprints. The truck disabled here in the parking lot, but the criminal's still on the run, according to police. Let me show you exactly the reason why this truck is disabled in the video. You will see that they had a chain that they attached to the back of the truck and to the ATM. They left the chain still on the ATM as they tried to get away. Police say that, again, they did break the frame on the truck, tried to yank the door off the ATM. They never did get inside, so they went away empty-handed. And the police are empty-handed as far as catching them, though. But they have been going around this parking lot looking for surveillance video. I also want to show you the mess that they made of this machine. You can see the door is still open there. But again, police say they did not get in, did not get any of the cash that they had intended to take. Reporting live on the northwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. President-elect Joe Biden says the coronavirus pandemic is dominating his transition into the White House.
And his approach to the pandemic will be different from the way that President Trump's administration has dealt with the deadly disease. CNN's John Lawrence has more details.
After President-elect Joe Biden takes office, he will call on Americans to help slow the spread of COVID-19.
I'm going to ask the public for 100 days to mask. Just 100 days to mask. Not forever, 100 days. And I think we'll see a significant reduction.
Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris say they'll get a COVID-19 vaccination once one is approved and deemed safe. And they want frontline workers, like doctors and nurses, to get vaccines as well.
The president-elect and I talk about this all the time, that the people who need it most are going to be a priority.
On Thursday, more than 100,000 people in the U.S. were listed as hospitalized with the virus, according to the COVID Tracking Project. California, in the middle of a record surge of cases and hospitalizations, is pulling an emergency brake with regional stay-at-home orders.
The bottom line is, if we don't act now, our hospital system will be overwhelmed. If we don't act now, we'll continue to see a death rate climb.
Health officials repeated calls for Americans to curb travel and follow safety guidelines in the coming months.
pandemic fatigue is real and we all cannot wait until this is over. And the end is not that far away, but we have to get through this winter because what lies ahead for the next few months, it's actually our worst case scenario.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Expect a flurry of pardons before President Donald Trump leaves office. That's according to sources with knowledge on the matter. They say the White House counsel's office has been running meetings since the election to determine who might receive a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's a typical process at the end of a presidency, but the president could be taking it a step further. Sources say he's considering preemptive pardons for his family and associates. President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, also wants a pardon for his father, who's in prison for tax evasion.
As we head into the weekend, things on Wall Street are a little bittersweet. The S&P 500 lost a little ground yesterday, but the NASDAQ composite managed to set a new record high. A slightly bigger gain for the Dow wasn't enough for that index to break new ground. Lower than expected jobless claims and a positive report on the service sector helped boost some stocks. Trading volume was light ahead of the monthly jobs report that's coming out today.
Google Maps now letting its users play a part in growing a popular feature. The company's latest update lets you use photos from your phone to create a street view. Photos taken by users will appear in a layer on Google Maps app with blue lines. Google says anyone can contribute a street view photo to their app. It does not matter if you have an Android phone or iPhone. According to Google, they already have more than 170 billion images of 10 million miles around the world.
And here at home, it's a game you may have played with either beans, coins, and cards. Now, the city of San Antonio is reimagining the game of Loteria to create a safe and free holiday scavenger hunt. The goal is to look for Loteria card ornaments hidden at 9 locations around town for a chance to win prizes. There are 5 prize packs, which include gift cards and a hotel stay. This is all sponsored by Travis Park, so if you'd just like to play, you can download the form online. We have a link on KSAT.com, and remember to wear a mask and practice social distancing when participating.
I just want the taco card.
That looks cool, right? Yeah.
It's always neat how that game continues to evolve.
Yeah, now they have, decorations and jewelry, so very interesting.
It's become an accessory. 5:36, 34 degrees.
And if you all want for Christmas, or if all you want for Christmas is cookies, we're going to have the deal for you. We're going to tell you about Mariah Carey's new cookie line coming up.
And while we're enjoying some fairly nice weather here at home, out west, different story. More details about an out-of-control inferno in California and people missing after landslides in the state of Alaska.
And taking a look outside with live cam, a cold 34 degrees. We will have a nice afternoon again, though, so hope you have a chance to enjoy it. We're going to check in with Mike after the break.
A tale of 2 weather events wreaking havoc out west. Wildfires in California forcing people to flee, and power is being cut off to more than 123,000 people.
And there's landslides causing major problems in Alaska. CNN's Nadia Romero has more.
Oh my gosh.
Shocking scenes from California. Wildfires raging like it's the middle of summer.
We're in December, and we now have active wildfires still in our state.
By air and on the ground.
They came so fast. We barely could get out.
People and their animals fleeing flames fueled by strong Santa Ana winds.
I'm praying for our other neighbors that they're getting out okay.
It's a different disaster in Alaska.
That's where it came down out there.
Officials say 8 inches of rain falling in 24 hours on top of icy ground that led to major flooding, massive cracks in some roads, and a 600-foot landslide.
The entire mountainside came down on top of houses.
Devastating Haines, Alaska, near the Canadian border. Back in California, another fire burns. The Corona Airport fire threatens the Serrano Ranch neighborhood.
At least the wind's going away from the houses. That's the good news.
Multiple California fires burning. At least 2 firefighters injured. And this warning for anyone in harm's way.
If there's any doubt, please evacuate.
I'm Nadia Romero reporting.
Right now it's 5:41, 34 degrees.
The NFL and Lowe's, I'm sorry, the NFL and Lowe's are teaming up to make the holiday season a little brighter for those who need it the most. And And welcome back. It's 5:44. In your morning consumer headlines, Southwest Airlines says it might have to furlough 6,800 employees this spring. Affected positions would include ground crew, customer service agents, flight attendants, and pilots. A union representing some of those employees trying to negotiate to preserve jobs. As economic advisor notes, the airline has about $15 billion cash on hand. Southwest has never laid off workers in its history.
Lowe's and the NFL teaming up to spread a little holiday cheer. They plan to donate $1 million worth of pre-lit Christmas trees to families and organizations impacted by the pandemic. Over the next 2 weeks, more than 13,000 trees will be delivered. Some of them will be sent directly to homes, first responder stations, nonprofit housing organizations, as well as child care and youth centers. Dak Prescott, Adam Thielen, and Jared Goff are among the NFL players working to donate trees within their local communities. More NFL players plan to give back to their hometowns by hosting drive-through events and sending video messages to families.
Dog lovers were not in love with traditional names like Fido and Spot this year. The website Rover.com released its list of 2020's top names for dogs. The site notes that many popular monikers are also on the list of top baby names. For instance, the top 3 female names for dogs, Bella, Luna, and Lucy, are also top baby names. And when it comes to the guys, the top canine picks were Max, Charlie, and Cooper. Celebrity names were also a big draw in 2020. The monikers Kanye and Tom Brady trended up this year, while the usually popular Beyonce trended down.
Grammy winner Mariah Carey, known for her Christmas song. Soon she might be known for her Christmas cookie. She has a new brand out called Mariah's Cookies. They start taking orders today. Same day, Carey's Christmas special launches on Apple TV. The brand is a partnership between the singer and Virtual Dining Concepts. The cookies will be available by order and delivery in 30 markets. Flavors include some of the classics plus 3 selections for winter festivities, but the cookies aren't just for the holidays. They will be available to order year-round. They cost $3,000 a dozen.
And they have diamonds on them.
I'm kidding. Well, I'm kidding. We don't know how much they cost.
Yeah.
We'll try to find out.
I'm sure the box will be sparkly somewhat.
Oh, yeah. It will be dazzled.
Yes.
5:46. Let's check on traffic with Nick.
Thanks, Mark. Very busy this Friday morning. A lot of accidents. Have another accident. This one's going to be northbound IH-37 off the off-ramp to IH-35 south. So if you are heading there in that direction, look for one vehicle accident there that hit the barrier. Dealing with this accident, still northbound I-35, the access road at Judson Road, right there in between O'Connor and Judson. This accident still active northbound IH-10 at West Avenue, and still dealing with this here accident. This has been there all morning. 18-wheeler rolled over. They're still trying to clear debris off the highway. This is eastbound IH-10 at FM 1560 north. Now let's take a look at the trans guide here. Can't see it because of the graphic at the screen, but I think this is where that first accident I talked about, right there on that off-ramp to 35 south. This is where it's going to be here in that area. Not affecting traffic right now, so still expect a smooth ride if you're headed to work down 35.
Good news there. Thank you, Nick.
I'm still looking for a price here, but there is a website that's being built. It's mariahcareyscookies.com.
And no price right off the top. Maybe it's hidden.
Or it just got slammed by users and it's about to crash because it's just got the front page up there right now. I can't do anything else. I'll keep looking at it.
Interesting.
Mike, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it is hot chocolate and cookies would be good this. Well, not for breakfast. Sorry.
Macadamia nut.
Yeah.
Sure.
Didn't mean to mention the cookies for breakfast.
Maybe if you're at grandma and grandma's house, you get away with that, right?
Of course. Anyway, no, I'll tell you one thing. A big bowl of hot oatmeal is a pretty good idea this morning because it's cold out there. As you can see, we do have a star, or I think that might be Venus. I'm going to check my star app, but otherwise a couple of clouds here and there, some partly cloudy skies being reported. Obviously not a complete cloud cover. We don't have a blanket really on top of us other than those few clouds, so that's what's allowing things to get pretty chilly out there. Again, we got a lot of freezing readings, a lot of 20s, now down to 29 in Bulverde, freezing at Randolph, 34 here in town, a little bit cooler than what it was yesterday. So we have all the ingredients in place. Mostly clear skies. You'd like to have completely clear skies out there. Very dry air. We still have dew points down in the 20s and not much of a breeze. We would actually be maybe even a little bit cooler if we didn't have this breeze out there. But again, it makes it feel cooler with a little bit of a wind chill. 28 in Kerrville, so the wind has finally eased up a little bit there, but it feels like 28 here in town, and 30 is the wind chill at Port SA. A little bit of moisture aloft in the atmosphere. Yesterday we had that really dark shade of gray on here. Now it's a little bit lighter shade, so this is upstairs, mid-high levels of the atmosphere, which means maybe a little more of a kind of a milky shade to the sky than that extreme vivid blue we've had the past few days. Still, it's going to be a good looking day, and 1 or 2 clouds hanging around out here. And throughout the rest of today, computer models really don't have a lot as far as clouds around. Like I said, 1 or 2 of them. Now, we do have this southwesterly flow, and that's going to bring in this disturbance overnight. Now, this looks a little, I think looks a little more ominous than what it is going to be. It's going to be a lot of just kind of scattered showers around, but the chance, which is basically what this depicts here, it doesn't mean it's going to be raining all over the place constantly, but the other side of that is the fact that the air is so dry, a lot of this may actually evaporate before it actually reaches the ground, but there will be 1 or 2 of them out there. And as a matter of fact, there's a really, really cold pocket of air out there north of the Big Bend area, and so there could be actually some mixed precipitation out there. Perhaps, you know, a little bit of a chunky kind of rain out there in northwestern Valverde County, but that would be the exception rather than the rule. And we'll have that around, a lot of clouds around throughout the day tomorrow. Then we're going to start to clear on out. And as we go into next week, then temperatures are going to start to kind of creep up just a little bit. We've been on the below normal side for the most part all week long, and now that's going to start to change going into next week. Around the country, I mean, there's really nothing. Yeah, it's cold out there, but nothing that really is just brutally, extremely cold. So we've had all this series of little low pressure areas. This is the one that brought the colder air in here, and then this next one moves on in. That's the one that's going to bring us the chance for a couple of showers tomorrow, and then it clears on out. Another one's going to try and form up, move down into the southwestern United States, and try and work its way in our direction. Whether it does anything as far as any rain chances, wait to be seen. And then it looks like we might have a more significant low trying to move in here by next weekend. And then looks like a front associated with that to knock temperatures down after that. But like I said, for next week, it is going to start to warm up. 55 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and then a high temperature today up to 60. So still might want to keep a jacket handy, especially if you're going to be heading out tonight. Maybe look at some Christmas lights. And then tomorrow, 37, a couple of showers scattered about the area, and then up to 62. And notice those temperatures. I mean, it's still going to be jacket weather in the mornings all the way through next week, and then we will be warming up to about 70 by midweek.
Mike, we think we figured it out. Carrie's cookie website will go live at some point today, but today is the day for people to kind of get those orders in.
Wish I would have had stock in that, because you know they're going to sell like hotcakes.
Yes,
I think
are.
so. I think it's going to be popular.
Yeah, sell like hotcakes. Have you thought about selling hotcakes on a website?
How do? Where has that ever come? I've always wondered that.
Hotcakes?
Why that is kind of the sort of the measure.
I don't know.
On how
I don't know.
Sells, so.
That sounds like something on for SA Live next week.
Let's Google it.
Right?
And then you can bring in cookies.
552, 34 degrees.
And coming up next, Shakespeare wrote, "The course of true love never did run smooth." That's certainly the case in the latest romantic comedy hitting theaters. We're going to have a preview just ahead.
Pick 3 numbers, 738 Fireball 6, Daily 4, 0724 Fireball 9.
Cash 5, 623, 28, 29, 34. Texas 2-step 5, 13, 16, 30. And bonus ball of 11.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, an ABC News exclusive. 3 decades later, since the passing of iconic singer Selena, now her family is speaking out about legacy and how she's touching so many lives 25 years later. That plus much more coming up on a Friday on Good Morning America. We'll see y'all soon.
You're miserable.
We fixed a lunch for you.
A blind date. Are you completely
blind?
Yes. Well, I think the politically correct term is visually impaired.
Diane Keaton and Jeremy Irons go from a literal blind date to something more in love, weddings, and other disasters.
A note, I've fallen in love with the dumbest man in history.
Writer-director Dennis Dugan worked on the project on and off for 15 years.
And then I got lucky enough to have just this wonderful, wonderful group of professional, funny, fun, charming pals do the movie.
That group includes Maggie Grace as a novice wedding planner who's better known for trashing a wedding.
We were hoping to hire you guys to play the wedding.
We don't play weddings.
I will arm wrestle you for a yes.
You what?
Come on, you big baby. She's really game on and glass half full and ready to figure it out. And even though it's her first time planning a wedding, she's undaunted.
and Andrew Batchelor as a tour guide who falls for a passenger.
Last slipper.
Cinderella's my favorite character.
Where's the other one?
Prince Charming has it.
He wasn't searching for love, but the moment that he got a sample of it, he was like, oh, wait, I want to explore this.
The vibe was really, Dennis creates such a warm, familial kind of atmosphere. He says he strives to make it like his living room, where everyone feels really, really comfortable.
I thought I could come in and sweep you off your feet. Yes! But you swept me off mine.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Today is the last day to share the shoes and our Share the Shoes drive. The goal, collect 1,100 pairs of shoes for kids in need. You can still help by dropping off a new pair at any SAPD substation. KSAT Community, San Antonio Police, and Zapatos all joining this effort. So let's get those shoes in today. Over halfway past the goal at last check. Hey, many of us can't get through the morning without our cup of coffee, but the cup you choose may be more important to your health than you ever thought. Just ahead on GMSA why experts say you should avoid paper cups at all costs. Guess what kind of cup I drank out of this morning? And right now, 281 at Hildebrand. Traffic is building as we approach the top of the hour. Officer Nick Solis will be back with Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio police say someone tried to pull an ATM out of the ground, but instead broke the truck they were driving. That suspect is still on the run.
Parenting, never easy, especially in a pandemic. We'll take a look at advice for parents from a pediatrician if you missed our online special.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, a cold 34 degrees. You better grab that coat or you will regret it.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hallelujah, we made it to Friday. It is December 4th. Good morning.
Good morning, yes, happy Friday. And even if you were to forget the coat and walk outside, you'll walk right back in because it's pretty cold out there.
Yes, you'll figure that out on your own pretty quick. Here's Mike Osterhage. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, and you probably want to keep it handy all day long. Now, in the sunshine, it's not bad, but then all of a sudden you get into a shadow in these temperatures when it's only about upper 50, 60, and you definitely notice it too. We got one or two clouds sort of hanging around here. That, by the way, looked at my app, and that is the planet Venus. So obviously we don't have a whole lot in the way of clouds in that vantage point, and that's an airplane taken off, by the way, down there closer to the horizon. Wind chill temperature, there's a bit of a breeze. Overall, we have the good ingredients for radiational cooling, but that little bit of a breeze puts the wind chill down to 29 right now is what it feels like in town. 24 Kerrville, 26 is what it feels like at Randolph. So yeah, you want to bundle up, turn up your collar, scarf, hat, mittens, the whole 9 yards. And temperatures, we may fluctuate another degree or so in the next couple of hours. And then we're going to warm up very nicely throughout the rest of today and make it up to 55 degrees today at noon and then top off at 60. Again, if you're in the shadows, it is going to definitely be on the chilly side later on today. Now, there's a chance for a couple little sprinkly showers to start off the weekend. And then after that, looks pretty nice. Details coming up in a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. And Officer Nick Solis, and all morning long you've been talking about that, well, I see it right there, the big incident on 10.
Yeah, still there, Mike. Been there for 8 hours now.
Wow.
Yeah, since 11 p.m. we had this accident. But dealing with this too right now. It's Nacogdoches and Judson Road. Looks like there's a 2-vehicle accident there at the intersection. SAPD is on scene. They're going to be blocking that intersection off for just a little bit. So just keep that in mind when you're in that direction. Dealing with this accident, northbound. Northbound IH-37. So coming up here, off ramp to 35 there, we have an accident there. SAPD is on scene. Tow truck is on scene. Hopefully this gets cleared up soon. Dealing with and this is one Mike was talking about. This is eastbound I-10 at FM 1560. Now, around this time, traffic starts to build up here anyway, so expect a delay. If you have to go eastbound IH-10, this 18-wheeler accident still causing some traffic buildup there due to a rolled over 18-wheeler. And 35 at 410, looking good. 281 in St. Mary's, if it was working, I'm sure it would look good too. Mark, Stephanie, back to you.
Thank you, Nick. New this morning, San Antonio police are trying to find the people responsible for trying to steal an ATM. It happened at the IBC Bank at Callahan and Babcock right around 4 this morning. Take a look at the scene video here. Police say someone attached a chain to their pickup and tried to pull the ATM out of the ground. The machine did not budge, and police say part of the truck fell off. Police say an alarm inside the ATM alerted them, and someone called in a tip saying it sounded like a car hitting something. Officers are still looking for the suspect.
Local health officials report 760 new cases of COVID-19 in Bexar County. Metro Health also reports one more person has died from the virus. Mayor Ron Nirenberg says the 7-day moving average is now at 795 cases per day. The mayor says there are currently 593 patients in the hospital with the coronavirus. 198 are in the ICU and 104 are on ventilators.
Vice President Mike Pence will visit the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention today to learn more about the COVID-19 vaccine process. Vice President is the head of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Pfizer and Moderna could both start shipping vaccines by the end of the month across the U.S. The CDC wants healthcare workers and patients in long-term care to be the first to receive the vaccine.
Meanwhile, areas all across the country are continuing to be hit hard by the pandemic. Nearly the entire state of California could soon be under a shutdown order as hospital beds are at capacity.
And we're continuing to learn more details about how a vaccine will be distributed. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest.
This morning, the country wrestling with a third wave of COVID.
In about 2 weeks, hospitals will be full.
California is announcing new plans for regional restrictions.
We need to meet this moment head on, and we need to do everything we can to stem the tide, to bend the curve.
In North Dakota, Air Force nurses are now helping the ICUs.
It really moved pretty quickly.
Their introductory training has been slashed from 6 weeks to only 3 days.
Everybody comes in mostly with respiratory distress, which is scary. If you're having any problems breathing and you never have before, that's a scary thing to get used to.
The CDC is now saying the U.S. could reach a death toll of 329,000 by Christmas. And now, potential problems for vaccine distribution plans. IBM says hackers are trying to disrupt the procedures that keep the vaccines properly cooled during transport. Governor Andrew Cuomo is giving New Yorkers a look at the Pfizer vaccine, which must be stored at minus 94 degrees. The box can stay open for no more than 90 seconds. News of the hacking threat comes as the Wall Street Journal reports Pfizer dealt with early supply chain obstacles. The company first planned to produce 100 million doses, but then slashed that in half after finding some raw materials didn't meet its standards. Pfizer says the problems have been fixed, but delivering the vaccine will be a challenge like never before. ABC News getting an inside look at United Airlines cold storage facility at Chicago's O'Hare Airport.
The cold chain is for products that really need refrigerated temperature from start to finish, because there are so many different steps along the way that it's critical that they're kept at the exact same temperature for the duration of the journey.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
And parenting during this pandemic has been tough between the challenges of keeping kids safe while balancing a very different school year, and for many parents working from home. Yesterday, we had a chance to take viewer questions to a panel of experts. As more information about COVID-19 has developed throughout the year, there has been a noticeable difference between adults and children. Dr. Tess Barton, a pediatrician with UT Health San Antonio, says asymptomatic spread in children is much more common than in adults. But when kids do experience COVID symptoms, the first to show up may not be the respiratory issues you might expect.
So children actually most commonly present with diarrhea. And so it often begins for them as diarrhea, fever, headache, and then they may develop the respiratory signs and the cough. And then they may have an ongoing cough that lasts for a long time.
And we covered so many different topics during a live stream on KSAT.com focused on parenting in a pandemic, from school to screen time, battling boredom, and watching out for red flags that may indicate your child needs extra help during this pandemic. You can watch the entire Parenting in a Pandemic special online at KSAT.com.
In morning consumer news, when the federal government puts out its November jobs report this morning, it's expected to show job growth, but it's expected to be the slowest growth in 6 months. Economists surveyed by Reuters think about 470,000 jobs were added last month as coronavirus cases ramped up. That would be the smallest gain since the recovery started in May. The unemployment rate is expected to stay just under 7%.
Demand for dry ice is heating up. The dry ice will be crucial for shipping coronavirus vaccines. Pfizer's vaccine needs to be kept extremely cold at nearly 100 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. ABC News reporting one Missouri dry ice company says it's gotten calls asking how much it can make and how quick.
Move over, Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman. Marvel introducing new heroes in 2020. Instead of capes, they wear scrubs. Marvel has teamed up with the Allegheny Health Network in Pennsylvania to create a new comic book that celebrates real-life healthcare heroes. It's called a True Nurse Stories comic book. Focuses on the stories of actual nurses who work near Pittsburgh and everything they've done to keep us safe during the pandemic.
It's very cool. Time now, 6:08 and 34 degrees for now.
It was a shocking sight to see when a high school football player tackled a referee down in the Rio Grande Valley. We'll see what led up to this incident later on GMSA.
And before the office of the governor was established in Texas, there were still governors presiding over the region. After the break, we're going to take a look at the Tejano history in Texas government.
Outside with live cam, 34 degrees out at the airport. Bundle up. What's the rest of the weekend looking like as we kick off our Friday morning? Mike has the answer straight ahead. 6:12, our Tejano Moments series continues this morning. This time we'll learn about the first governors of the state.
But those governors were before Texas was a state or even its own country. Erica Hernandez also has more on how these Tejanos shaped and developed Texas.
Between 1688 and 1836, Texas had many Spanish or Mexican governors who we might not hear about in our history books because this was before Texas actually established the office of governor.
I think it's important that we communicate that they're here to govern New Spain's new royal province. They need to install governors to bring law and order, of course, colonization, Christianization.
The first man New Spain chose to take on a leadership role was General Alonso de Leon, who led the first expeditions into the Texas area and also established some of the first presidios and missions.
He's not formally the first governor, if you will, but he's certainly the first governmental entity that begins to clear the path for, in fact, the first governor.
And that first official governor was General Domingo Terán de los Rios. Other governors of note were General Martín de Alarcón, who founded San Antonio. And that is when the Spanish governor's palace comes into play. The first governor to actually live inside was Governor Juan María Vencillo.
He deploys to San Antonio and specifically ends up here. And so he's one of the first governors that begins to live in this colonial, beautiful dwelling and brings his headquarters here. And for the first time, this begins to be understood as the Spanish governor's palace.
It would be until 1836 that Mexican governors would rule over Texas as a Republic of Texas was then created. But their significance to Tejano history is of great importance to the state.
They helped develop the culture and society that's far beyond just a frontier society. They are really some of the governance that helps develop the American Southwest.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Friday mornings, now 6:15.
I know Officer Nick Solis was tracking a couple of accidents earlier. How's it looking now?
Well, right now, Steph, things are looking good. Clearing up. We were very busy to start this Friday morning. Take a look at the map there. A lot of green on the screen. But yeah, this accident on I-10 eastbound at Foster Road finally cleared up. So good news there. It was an active accident for 7 hours. So I-10 eastbound looking good now. Working with this accident in Nacogdoches at Judson Road. And we're still here working on this accident. This is going to be southbound US Highway 281, the off-ramp to 35 there. So that one should be cleared up anytime as well. And taking a look at TransGuide 410 at Claiborne looking good. 410 at Northwest Military looking even better, flowing smoothly there. And 90 and 36 looks great. Just remember, everyone, please wear your seatbelt and get to work safely.
Yes.
Mark, Stephanie, back to you.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. And then kids are still going to have to pull out the jackets this morning.
Oh, yeah. And even next week, even though the trend is going to be for temperatures to start to creep up just a little bit into next week, we're going to see, actually by this time next week, we're going to probably be about 10 degrees warmer in the afternoon, but it'll still be jacket weather in the morning. December 4th, can you believe that Christmas is just 3 weeks from today? I wish you could slow time down somehow. Hey, this morning, temperatures may drop another degree or two, and we've got a few clouds out there, and then a nice warm up. We almost double our low temperature, almost up to 60, mostly sunny, nice, little breeze out of the north. So jacket's still a pretty good idea, and then it's going to cool off fairly quickly once the sun goes down. Speaking of sunshine, We're not seeing the glow yet and still got an hour before the sun comes up, so no glow as of yet, but we do have a lot of clear skies out here. The planet Venus was showing up. It's moved up in behind that banner as of right now. Some of the temperatures around the area, New Braunfels just above freezing, Seguin, same situation. This means in your backyard, you may actually have some freezing temperatures as of right now. Plus, we've got that little bit of a breeze, so in some areas you can shave off about 4, 5, 6 degrees, and that's what it feels like. All right, a lot of, a couple of clouds hanging around today. We do have some moisture in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and then we should have plenty of sunshine. Again, a few of those clouds, maybe a milky shade to the sky today. Tonight, there's going to be a disturbance coming in here from the southwest, working its way across the area through tomorrow morning. It's going to touch off a couple of sprinkly showers around here. Now, this tends to kind of broad brush things. There's the chance around here, but it's not like it's going to be raining all over the place or a huge rain event by any stretch. As a matter of fact, the air is still dry enough to where a lot of the rain is probably going to evaporate before it ever reaches the ground. And out to the northwest, notice how, there's a little bit of some purples and blues out there. There's a very, very cold pocket of air, very small little cold pocket northwest of the hill country as of right now, and also tomorrow morning. So that's why that's going to support some mixed precipitation out there in some of the higher elevations as well. But for us, it's just going to be, again, a couple of light sprinkly showers, and we'll keep some clouds around throughout the day tomorrow. Then things are going to be clearing on out. And unfortunately, on the downside, after those few showers tomorrow, no rain in the forecast, but we got some beautiful weather. And like I said, the trend is going to be for things to warm up a little bit going in through most of next week. 55 degrees at noon today, partly cloudy skies. High temperature up to 60. We're still going to be almost 5 degrees below normal, and that'll be the situation tomorrow. Cold, not as cold in the morning, a couple of those little sprinkly showers around here. Then we get into Sunday and we'll get up to a normal high temperature up to 65, and then start that slight little warming trend in toward next week, getting up to 70. So by the middle of next week, we'll be about 5 degrees above normal. Still cool in the morning, still jacketed weather in the morning, and not in the afternoon.
I like the sunshine.
Yeah, not a bad look in 7 days.
No, not at all. I mean, it'd be nice to get a whole lot more rain, but that is just not in the offing. Maybe next weekend. I mean, looking way down the road, a chance for some more rain with another front.
All right.
Got it.
We'll wait for that.
Yep. 619, 34 degrees.
And coming up, a person nearly lost an arm in a tiger attack at the animal sanctuary owned by Carole Baskin. The woman made famous in the Netflix series Tiger King. We're going to have details in today's GMA First Look.
Here's your secret word of the day. Enter it on KSAT.com/Circle K for a monthly chance to win free gas for a year. Every entry wins a medium coffee. Win with Circle K and GMSA.
Smart tech is everywhere. Smart fridge, smart car, smart doorbell.
Hello.
But Fitbit makes you smart about your health. This isn't some phone on your wrist. It's a way to help manage stress, keep your heart strong, and detect potential signs of illness. It's more than a smartwatch. It's a smarter way to transform your health.
Hi, Sabrina. Hi, Jen. So this Aveeno moisturizer goes beyond just soothing sensitive skin?
Exactly, Jen. Calm and Restore Oat Gel is formulated with prebiotic oat and strengthens skin's moisture barrier.
Oh, I love it. Aveeno, healthy. It's our nature.
I tried a new laxative that's both gentle and fast.
New great tasting Dalcolac soft chews works naturally with the water in your body in as little as 30 minutes. Puts you comfortably in control. New Dalcolac soft chews.
In this morning's GMA First Look, tiger attack at Carole Baskin's Big Cat Rescue. Baskin releasing audio addressing volunteers following the incident.
I heard her yelling, so I ran over and she said, "He's got my arm." And I saw him with her arm in his mouth. And when I ran over, he let go and she fell to the ground.
Baskin, who appeared on last season's Dancing with the Stars,
What's new, pussycat?
Gained recognition after the release of Netflix's Tiger King docuseries earlier this year. The show chronicled the tale of Oklahoma private zoo owner Joe Exotic and his vendetta against his nemesis Carol Baskin of Big Cat Rescue in Florida.
She fed her husband to the tigers.
Exotic alleging that Baskin fed her ex-husband Don Lewis to tigers, a claim she has repeatedly denied. And we'll have the very latest on this attack coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Victor Okendo, ABC News.
Warner Brothers is shaking up Hollywood. The studio says it will release all of its movies next year available to stream on HBO Max on the same day they debut in theaters. Warner Brothers says for now the plan is limited to 2021 because it's unclear when movie going will return to normal. This has many moviegoers wondering how it will affect theaters going forward.
A private company's unveiled the world's biggest drone. Mike, have you seen this yet? This 80-foot unmanned aircraft weighs 55,000 pounds. It's designed to drop a rocket in midair that launches small satellites into space.
It's the season of the ugly holiday sweater, and Microsoft's version is the hottest one around right now, but good luck trying to find one. The company says it sold out faster than the latest Xbox. The proceeds go to Girls Who Code, a charity working to get more women into computer science.
In your morning sports, bizarre moment at a high school football game outside McAllen last night. A player from Edinburgh was ejected during the game against FAR San Juan Alamo. But take a look at that. After being ejected, the player charges the field right there and tackles the referee. That ref was motionless on the field as the team's coaching staff held back the player. That player was escorted off the field by police. We do not know the condition of the official at this time. That player may face additional consequences for his actions. Moving to the NFL, both Texans and Cowboys playing this in upcoming games, but the pandemic is starting to impact NFL Sunday. First, the Texans play Sunday. They take on their division rivals, the Colts, at noon in Houston. Meanwhile, the Cowboys were supposed to play Sunday, but the game's been delayed a few days due to a COVID-19 outbreak in the Baltimore Ravens organization. The Cowboys will now play the Ravens on Tuesday instead of Sunday. The game is currently scheduled for 7 p.m. over in Baltimore. And I was reading more about that referee that was hit by the player after being ejected. They put him through concussion protocols just to be safe.
Oh, my goodness. And time now is 6:26 and 34 degrees for now.
The coffee cup you drink out of may have unintended health consequences. See why a new study says you should choose porcelain over paper cups.
And December will be a good month to look up at the night sky. We're going to tell you how to see a Christmas star and a big meteor shower in our next half hour.
Plans for an ATM break-in go all wrong. Now police are trying to catch up with the people behind it. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll have that story.
America's darkest day yet in this pandemic as thousands more die from the coronavirus. I'm ABC's Faith Abube in Washington with the latest coming up.
Outside with live cam, mid-30s here in town. Another cold start as we enter the last day of the work week.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. It is December 4th.
Let's go straight to Mike for an update on cold weather that continues here in South Texas. Another rebound in temperatures later on today, Mike?
Yes, I think we'll probably be even a couple of degrees above where we were yesterday. Yesterday hit 58, going for 60 today, but that despite the fact we're starting off a little bit cooler than yesterday. And we do have one or two clouds out there, just a few sort of mid and high level clouds, not really doing too much to act like a blanket. And that's why we're down to 34 degrees. 29 is the dew point. So still have some really dry air, and there's a slight breeze, which means there's a little bit of a wind chill to deal with. 29 here in town, wind chill 26, at Randolph, 27 there in Lost Maples, and 25. You win again this morning. Hondo is what it feels like. We will keep a couple of clouds around today, mostly sunny skies. Still a very nice day. And then later on tonight, there's a disturbance moving on in here. That's going to touch off a couple of showers, very few and far between tomorrow morning. We'll keep some more clouds around then throughout the day, and temperatures make it up into the low 60s. Still a very nice day. And then Sunday going into next week. Jacket weather in the morning, but we will be warming up and plenty of sunshine throughout most all of next week. All the details in just a couple of minutes. Time saver traffic right now. And Officer Nick Solis. And there's been that one problem out there on 10. Is that still going on?
All clear, Mike.
That's cleared.
Yeah,
okay.
for the first time all morning, we got no accidents. So
good.
Let's enjoy the green on the screen here while it lasts. If you are headed to work, expect a smooth ride. Let's take a look at some drive times here. Let's see, what do we got? We're going to there you go. I-10 westbound from the northwest side of I-10 to I-35 to 1604. You got a 12-minute ride. And if you're I-10 eastbound from the northwest side of 1604 to 35, 13 minutes, looking good there. Taking a look outside of the TransGuide right now, 90 at Zalzamora. Traffic definitely picking up, but flowing smoothly. That's what we like to see. 10 at Wurzbach there in the northwest side looks good. And 90 at General McMullen, looking great all over the city. Just remember, wear that seatbelt and get to work safely. Stephanie?
Thank you, Nick. Some crooks who seem to have had plans for a holiday bonus instead may be singing the blues. Their attempt to break into an ATM this morning went all wrong. Katrina Weber is live where it happened at Callahan and Babcock Roads. Now, Katrina, you mentioned earlier that there weren't any witnesses, but did police ever find any surveillance video?
Now, some of the businesses here definitely do have cameras. There's probably also one inside this ATM. But whether the video provides anything useful for police is something that they're still trying to figure out. It seems the crooks could not figure out how to get into the ATM. They had a chain stretched between it and the back of a pickup trying to yank off the door. But police say it ended up damaging the truck instead. The burglars got out and ran away. But from what I've been told, they never did get inside the machine, so they did not get any of the cash. Crime scene investigators collected broken parts from the ATM and truck as evidence. They also looked for fingerprints in and on the pickup. The police say it does not seem that anyone saw what happened, but they were alerted about 4 o'clock this morning when the alarm inside the ATM went off. Reporting live from the northwest side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Months into the pandemic, more Americans died yesterday than we have ever seen. And experts are saying this holiday season could get worse before a possible vaccine makes things better.
Meanwhile, President-elect Joe Biden is promising a different path forward. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
American families being clobbered right now on all fronts of an unrelenting pandemic. Thursday, the darkest day yet. More than 210,000 new coronavirus infections and at least 2,800 Americans dead in just a 24-hour period.
This nation was severely underprepared.
A remarkable admission by the CDC director as President-elect Biden promises a different approach to fighting the virus once he takes office.
Because on the first day I'm inaugurated to say I'm going to ask the public for 100 days to mask.
Biden also telling CNN he plans to keep Dr. Anthony Fauci on board.
I asked him to stay on in the exact same role he's had for the past several presidents, and I asked him to be a chief medical advisor for me as well and be part of the COVID team.
The current COVID task force anxiously waiting for an FDA vaccine authorization as cases rage across the country. In Stark County, Ohio, the coroner moving in mobile morgues.
Thanksgiving weekend, we became completely filled out here at the morgue.
California now bracing for a lockdown as restrictions tighten in states like Delaware and New York. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo unpacking a sample box of the vaccine that could be shipped out to states starting December 15th.
This is the weapon that is going to win the war.
But fears some Americans might opt out of getting vaccinated. 3 former presidents, Clinton, Bush, and Obama, now offering to take the shot in front of cameras to build confidence. Biden says he'll do the same.
It's important to communicate to the American people it's safe. It's safe to do this.
And as for that coronavirus aid package, signs of progress here in Washington. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell are discussing a nearly $1 trillion aid plan for the first time since the election. Faith Abube, ABC News, Washington.
In other morning headlines, Houston police have rescued nearly 30 people from a suspected smuggling operation. Police were responding to a kidnapping call in southwest Houston when they saw a man running down the street looking for help. The man said he escaped from a home where he was being held against his will. Officers went to investigate and found nearly 30 people in a house with boarded up, windows locked. Investigators say the victims came from Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and Cuba. Officials say possible suspects are in custody, but police are waiting on immigration officials to begin their investigation.
President Donald Trump's campaign says they raised $207 million after the election. After the election itself, the president's campaign sent out hundreds of emails and text messages asking supporters for money. Many of the appeals pointed to the president's official election defense fund, but those messages outline that most of the money does not fund recounts. Instead, a new political action committee formed by the president.
President Donald Trump's White House communications director has resigned. In a statement, Alyssa Farah said she will be leaving the White House to pursue new opportunities. Farah served in 2 other roles within the current administration. She was Vice President Mike Pence's press secretary, then the press secretary for the Defense Department. She rejoined the White House communications team in April when Mark Meadows was brought on to be chief of staff.
Final version of the National Defense Authorization Act will not allow President Trump to withdraw American troops from Germany as quickly as he'd like. The president says he wants to drastically reduce the number of our forces in Germany because he says the country is not spending enough in its own defense. The act will only allow a withdrawal if the Secretary of Defense follows appropriate protocols with the House Armed Services Committee.
Dallas-based Southwest Airlines says it might have to furlough 6,800 employees this spring. The company says ground crew, customer service agents, flight attendants, and pilots will all be affected. A union representing some of those employees trying to negotiate to preserve jobs. Southwest has never laid off workers in its history, even earlier in the pandemic when other airlines did so.
Today is the last day for our Share the Shoes drive. The goal: collect 1,100 pairs to donate to kids in need. You can still help by dropping off any new pair of shoes at any SAPD substation around the city. KSAT Community, SAPD, and the local nonprofit Zapatos have all been joining in on our effort.
Another reminder, our KSAT community partners are still stuffing stockings for SA Youth. You can help spread cheer by donating small toys, arts and crafts, and healthy snacks. The Stuff a Stocking drive runs through December 18th. You can also make a $25 donation online, which will cover the cost of one holiday stocking. We have more information at ksatcommunity.com.
Friday morning time check, 6:38, 34 degrees.
And many of us cannot get through the morning without our daily coffee. Yep, that's me. But the cup you choose to drink out of may be more important to your health than you know. Just ahead, the dangers of paper cups and why some experts say you should avoid them.
It is something that most of us start our day with, a cup of coffee.
Oh, yes, we do. And whether you're running out the door or enjoying your coffee at home, the cup you use is important to your health.
Sarah Costa explains how choosing the wrong cup can lead to some serious health concerns.
Many of us need coffee to get through the morning, but researchers are saying drinking coffee or any other hot beverages from a paper cup may be dangerous to your body.
According to a new study on studyfinds.org, in the 15 minutes it takes for you to drink coffee or tea, the microplastic layer in a paper cup degrades. Researchers experiment with several paper cups using different high temperatures. In that time, they found a disposable paper cup exposed to hot liquid has about 10.2 billion microplastics exposed. Heavy metals were also found in the liners of plastic films. Experts say ingesting these particles and metals regularly over time can cause some serious health conditions. They fear this contamination could lead to cancer or infertility. These microplastics are nearly invisible to the naked eye. But for the first time ever earlier this year, microplastics were found inside human organs here in the U.S. And they are not only bad for us, they also damage the environment. Researchers say disposable paper cups do not decompose in a landfill and cannot be recycled.
So before you pour your next cup of coffee, instead of grabbing a paper cup, grab an insulated cup or a traditional coffee cup instead. For GMSA, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
Right now on KSAT.com, we'll be in for a Christmas treat. We just need to look up in the night sky. 2 largest planets in the solar system getting closer than they've been since the Middle Ages. On the night of December 21st, which is the winter solstice, Jupiter and Saturn will appear so closely aligned in the sky that they will look like the Christmas star. It's called a conjunction. To see Jupiter-Saturn's conjunction, look low in the western sky about an hour after sunset each evening between December 16th and Christmas. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I bet it looks pretty. And if you don't wait that long for cosmic beauty, start stargazing tonight. What NASA calls one of the best and most reliable meteor showers is starting tonight. The Gemini meteor shower will last tonight through December 17th, and NASA says it will be even better this year. The peak, which is overnight on December 13th, into the morning of the 14th, will be during a new moon, so it will be easier to see. For the best viewing, NASA says you should find a safe location away from bright city lights, lie flat on the ground with your feet pointing south, and just simply look up to the sky. You can find more astrological information right now on KSAT.com.
Yeah, we already had the Leonid. Now we've got the Geminid.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
What?
Geminid, okay.
645, 34 degrees.
Let's go ahead and check in with Officer Nick Solis. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good, Steph. Thank you. And right now, traffic's looking good. We're only dealing with one accident now. Compared to earlier in the morning, it wasn't so good. Now, not too bad. This accident here, northbound U.S. Highway 281 at Nakoma near the airport. Hopefully that gets cleared up soon. Let's take a look at some drive times. If you're 35 southbound from the northeast side of 1604 to downtown, you got a 13-minute ride. And if you're 35 northbound from the southwest side of 1604 to downtown, 12 minutes. Looking good there if you're headed downtown. And let's take a look here at 410 at Jackson Keller there, north central area. Both east and westbound lanes have moderate traffic, but they're still flowing, and that's what you want to see on a Friday morning.
Very cool.
And we've got a very special birthday to celebrate today.
That's right. Happy birthday, Sylvia Solis.
Ooh, oh.
Happy birthday, Mom.
There's Mother Bear.
Okay, I see a little bit of a resemblance.
Yeah, that's my twin, Mike.
Is she up, Nick?
Yeah, she's up right now. She woke up and she's there with my dad, and they're watching right now. But yeah, 58 years old tomorrow. Sorry, Mom, to put your age on there. I know you look like you're 38. You look like you're 38 to me, but I love you and happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
happy
Mrs.
birthday.
Solis.
Very cool. Yeah, I know you have big plans for the weekend because it's actually tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay. Very cool.
My dad's making her some.
Mrs. Solis, tell him if you wanted your age shown on the air or not. So text him right now.
He'll let us know.
And we'll get him in trouble for it. Anyway, happy birthday. All right, we do have a beautiful sunrise this morning. Some mid-high level clouds out there. Really didn't act like too much of a blanket. A lot of times you get a blanket of clouds and that holds the heat in, but that was definitely not the situation this morning because we're actually cooler than what we were yesterday. A lot of freezing readings out in the hill country. And there's that mid and high level moisture out there and dew point temperatures. So we've had basically all the right ingredients. Mostly clear skies overnight, dry air, and pretty much light wind, although we do have just a hint of a wind chill out there. And the dew points are going to remain pretty low all the way through the weekend. Minor fluctuations, but we stay down in the 30s, and that's going to allow temperatures to be on the cool side. But then all of a sudden starts to try and peak by or really shoot up by Thursday. Now, this is going to be a slight warming trend going into the middle part of the week as far as high temperatures are concerned, but the lows will stay cooler, then that goes up. And that's really going to be preceding the next front, which timing-wise right now, long-range computer models, looks like sometime maybe Friday into Saturday of next week. And that should trim off some of that humidity and trim off some of those temperatures as well. Throughout the rest of today, again, a couple of high clouds out there, maybe a slight milky shade to the sky, and good viewing weather if you want to look out at the meteor. Well, that's not coming up until the... When was the meteor shower? The 16th, or was that this weekend? But anyway, it's going to be pretty
13th.
good. December 13th into the morning of the 14th.
I'm about a week ahead of myself. Anyway, for tonight, if you just want to go outside and look up at the stars or go around and look at the Christmas lights, it's going to be good weather for that. But then overnight, we do have a disturbance coming on in here. That's going to touch off a couple of stray showers tomorrow morning. Now, with the air so dry, a lot of this may actually evaporate before it ever reaches the ground. It's not going to be a big deal. Just make the roads damp in places tomorrow morning. And that will keep some clouds around, or we will keep some clouds around throughout the day. And then things are going to be clearing out tomorrow night and into Sunday. And that's going to just be another beautiful day. So looks-wise, not the prettiest day tomorrow. There's some of those kind of mid-level clouds that are moving on in here from the southwest, and that disturbance that will move in overnight. And otherwise, I mean, the only thing going on is off there to the east of us, and upstream, nothing in the next couple of days. Temperatures around the country, yeah, it's 16 in International Falls, pretty chilly, but, you know, nothing just brutally cold readings around here, but just enough for some jacket weather. And keep a jacket handy today as well, because 55 at noon, partly cloudy skies. Then a high temperature today up to 60 with mostly sunny skies, one or two clouds out there. Overnight, we get that slight chance for a couple of showers by tomorrow morning. That disturbance moving on through and keep some clouds around throughout the day. Again, jackets in the morning, then we get up to probably no jacket in the afternoon going into the middle part of next week with 70, so about 5 degrees above normal by the middle of next week.
Still nice. We'll take it, Mike.
Okay.
6:49, 34 degrees on your Friday morning.
And coming up, the pandemic continues to affect the way our kids are learning. Tomorrow on GMSA, the results of a new study that shows how many students are falling behind in their grades, especially in math.
And again, outside with live cam as we wake up on this early Friday morning on your December 4th. More to come right here on GMSA. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, an ABC News exclusive. 3 decades later, since the passing of iconic singer Selena, now her family is speaking out about legacy and how she's touching so many lives 25 years later. That plus much more coming up on a Friday on Good Morning America. We'll see you all soon.
It was withdrawal denied for some would-be burglars. Good morning, I'm Katrina Weber. Their plans to break into this Northwest Side ATM failed. San Antonio police say that the crooks had a chain running between the ATM and the back of a pickup, but part of the truck broke off. Although they did some damage, they never did get the machine open, so they did not get any cash. Police found out about the attempted break-in here at Callahan and Babcock around 4 this morning when an alarm went off inside the machine. The burglars ran off before police arrived. They did leave behind the truck, which police say was stolen. A detective told me that there weren't any witnesses to this, but they are looking for surveillance video, hoping to find some clues. Reporting from the Northwest Side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Coming up today on GMSA at 9, the performing arts industry has taken a huge hit during the pandemic, but the Ballet Conservatory of South Texas has found a way to carry on through the holidays.
Alicia Beretta tells us when and where you can watch an in-person live performance at 9 after Good Morning America.
Right now, an in-person live performance from Officer Nick Solis with the latest on Time Saver traffic.
Thanks, Mark. Right now, dealing with a couple of accidents here. This one just came out. This is going to be westbound Northeast Loop 410 at Perrin Vital Road. Also, this accident here just north of there, northbound U.S. Highway 281 at Nakoma. Now, we also have some accidents just came out 1604 at 281, and we also have one here on the 4400 block of IH10 East. So I'll keep you updated on that here in a bit. Mike?
And a beautiful start this morning. We got a few high wispy clouds out there. Not much to really act like a blanket this morning, and so that's why temperatures have really dropped down. We're at 34 degrees here in town, a little bit below where we were yesterday morning, and then plenty of freezing readings and 20s out in portions of the hill country. But there is a slight breeze, so in some places there's a little bit of a wind chill to deal with. Not much. Hondo feels like 27. Same thing up there at Lost Maples. 26 is the wind chill right now at Randolph, and we'll have lots of sunshine today, 55 noon, 60 for a high temperature. So jacket's still a pretty good idea today, especially if you're in the shade. A couple of sprinkly showers are possible tomorrow, plenty of clouds, and then we'll see more sunshine Sunday through the rest of next week, and high temperatures about 70 middle of next week.
Looks like a perfect weekend to wrap up any Christmas decorations outside.
Yeah, primarily Sunday. If there's any missed, don't get on the ladder for the ladders.
And a good birthday to celebrate. Also, happy birthday to Nick's Lisa's mom, Sylvia. Thanks for watching, guys.
We'll see you back here at 9.